From the schoolyard to the stadium, Aon has been helping Kiwis strive for sporting success on a local, regional and national level for over 20 years. We're proud to support New Zealand's sporting organisations and communities up and down the country. As New Zealand's leading insurance broker, we can also support you when it comes to your insurance, with expert advice and local service. From quote to claim management, we're with you every step of the way. Talk to your local Aon insurance broker today.
Welcome into finals day at the Tennis New Zealand Money Tournament at the Scarbro Tennis Centre in Auckland. My name's Matt Brown, your commentator. Throughout the day we have 4 fantastic matches in store for you today, beginning with the first of the women's semi-finals between the top seed Jade Lewis, and she's up against Vivian Yang, the 15-year-old, 21-year-old Jade Lewis, who is in the far end of the court as we're looking down at the court. Vivian Yang just in front of our broadcast position. Vivian Yang had a very tough 3 sets win last night, 5-7, 6-4, 6-3 to get to the semi-final. Jade Lewis earlier winning her first match 6-love, 6-love, and then 6-1, 6-2. In the other semi-final between Sarah Wardenberg and Sarah Weekly is getting underway in the court right next to us, our broadcast court. We'll keep you posted with that one a little bit later on. And then, of course, the 2 men's semi-finals will be broadcasting Ajit Rai against Anton Shep. And the other semi-final, Isaac Beecroft and Alex Klincharov. And I'll be joined for this match, the first of the semi-finals, by Finn Tierney, New Zealand Davis Cup representative. And he's just putting on his headphones now. G'day, Finn. Nice to see you again, mate.
Yeah,
how are you?
Nice to see you too. Yeah, good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Looking forward to this match. Vivian Yang getting ready to get things underway.
Great shot.
So yes, great to see Jade Lewis, back in New Zealand and playing again. Of course, she kind of gave up the game, didn't she, 2 or 3 years ago after coming on the scene as a sort of a youngster at the age of 17, 18. She was playing at the ASB Classic and then sort of went to college and stopped playing for a while.
Yeah. It's definitely great to see her back playing Matt. I remember a few years ago her match against Venus, which was a tight one, wasn't it? I think first set she might have had a set point or
you went into a tie break, wasn't it? Like 7-7, 6-6-2.
And then she sort of disappeared, but she's obviously back training and getting some matches before hopefully the tour resumes, I suppose.
Yes, she indicated yesterday that she really wants to go back out on the pro circuit.
Right.
Probably in the new year. She's going to be here playing Scarbro in Auckland and staying here certainly through the rest of the year. And then I guess like everyone who has ambitions of travelling, it's tough on the lower levels where you have to do so much travelling, especially in this new environment that we're in.
Absolutely. It's going to be an interesting matchup because Viv's got a fantastic cross-court backhand, and I feel like she could. It's one way she can expose Jade by rushing her forehand a bit. Jade's got quite a big swing on her forehand, but again, Jade defends really well, so a tough test for Viv.
It's a loose forehand, but she's you know, she's a tall player, a strong, powerful player, isn't she? And still got a lot of growing to do. I think Vivian Yang, just 15.
Yeah, no, definitely plenty of potential there, and she's obviously training a lot and seems to train hard. So yeah, she'll be excited to get back out on the tour, on the junior tour. Hopefully, play slams, I assume, next year. It's probably her goal.
Oh, she's missed it long, and an early break of serve goes the way of the top seed, Jade Lewis, who wins the opening game here. Yes, Jade Lewis, who is staying with her godparents here in Auckland. Was her mum and dad are over in Germany. Of course, tragedy struck the Lewis family just over a year ago when Jade's sister sadly passed away in New York. Vivian Yang works with Matt Alexander. They train up at Albany. She is the #1 ranked Kiwi junior, around about 300 in the ITF rankings.
She's
played Junior Fed Cup.
She's playing these ITFs, Matt, coming up, assuming.
I believe so. The coaches, I can see a coach here, so maybe we'll get confirmation.
I'm sure she will be. I'm sure she will be.
Yesterday there was an intriguing match in the Jade Lewis match yesterday where the players were keeping their own scores, and I think they completely lost track of score. And the upshot was it was 6-love, 4-love, and the two players went to the net thinking it was the end of the match and shook hands.
Right.
So it was recorded as a double bagel for Jade Lewis.
Yeah. That return there is really what Viv has to try to do in this match. Rush Jade's forehand and get the short ball. I don't think she did enough with the next one, but it's good to see that tactically.
There we go. Terrific short ball. She puts it away that time. Last time I bumped into you, Finn, would have been at that Davis Cup tie just before
I know,
the world really changed. I can remember you were having to use your own towels, and there were just early signs, weren't there?
There was. We got pretty lucky in the scheme of things there, didn't we? When
against Venezuela.
We looked back, I couldn't believe it.
So a hint of an opening here at 15:30 for Yang, who we're looking to break back. In fact, this month, I think New Zealand was supposed to be playing a Davis Cup tie. Of course, it's all been put on hold till next year now.
Yeah. Great backhand by Jade Lewis. She can really drive that backhand both directions. It's a really, really clean shot. Probably a favoured side, I would say. Tough result for Mike overnight.
Yeah, 6-6, a tight match. One of those matches, I guess, you know, they can go either way, can't it?
Yeah.
You know, two tiebreakers.
Yeah. Great run nonetheless.
Oh dear, dear oh dear. She set the point up so well to Vivian Yang, and that's just a horrible error off the forehand.
It's going to be interesting for Viv here because she's obviously a powerful player, and I think a lot of the girls her age aren't going to get to some of these, and it just shows the athlete that Jade is. She's going to make her play one more ball. She's really going to test her patience, so it's going to be interesting to see, and that's a good example of Jade's hustling ability there.
So Lewis holds, consolidates that early break of serve, and it leads by 2 games to love. He's just going back. Mike Venus playing at the Rome Masters, one of the big premier ATP Masters 1000 events outside of the Grand Slams, and now interesting to see he's off to Hamburg to play the new Hamburg tournament, which has obviously been squeezed into the calendar. Yep. More match play. I think first round losers get around about 7,000 or 8,000 euros. So, well, you know, when you've lost so much income during the year, you take everything you can get.
Yeah, absolutely. Jade doing a good job there of mixing up spin, mixing up height. Again, Viv's a girl who likes rhythm and likes pace, so smart tactics by Jade. Yeah, good to see Mike back playing a bit of singles as well, Matt.
Indeed. Yes, he played qualifying, lost to Chardy, didn't he? 1-1. I had spoke to him actually, and he sort of said it was very much a last-minute entry.
Yeah.
But it was just good to get onto the courts and play a match anyway.
Why not?
When guys haven't been playing a lot.
Absolutely.
Take anything you can get.
Not a bad check as well.
Exactly.
For an hour's work. Great shot. It's fantastic ball striking by Viv. In range, open stance, forehand down the line. It's great.
So back to 15 all then.
Yeah.
Yes, and just going back to the Rome Masters, interestingly enough, Rafa Nadal is possibly about to lose, which would be a big shock against Schwartzman in the quarterfinals. That match going on now. French Open just around the corner. In a week I was supposed to go Thursday, but obviously with the quarantine and everything else, I've pulled the pin this year and not going for the first time in 12 years, which is a bit of a shame. But I guess I don't know if I'll have crowds. It'll be very different. Well, Jade pushes it long.
Bit of luck going Viv's way there. You can even see Jade, she's a good athlete. Got up to that one really quickly. She's a good mover. There's no quarantine over there though, I'm assuming, or
no, it's very loose in terms of the arrangements. I think some countries you have to self-isolate, but it's very different to here. There's no compulsory quarantine.
Yeah. Again, though, Matt, I think you see in that rally that Viv fast ball to Jade's forehand, she's getting the slice, she's getting the slower ball off it, so she can play quickly through that side and stay patient in her point construction. She is going to have opportunities and openings here. She's got to tidy up on the few loose areas.
A lovely serve like that helps.
Great serve by Viv.
Now she has a game point. Try and get on the board in this match. Terrific.
Great
down
shot.
The line. That forehand driven down the line. And she is on the board. They go to the changeover. It is Jade Lewis leading by 2-1 in the opening set. And what have you been up to during the last few months, Finn? Playing much tennis? Doing a bit of coaching?
Yeah, doing a bit of coaching. But obviously mainly working, sitting in an office, which is it's proving to be good fun. But yeah, doing a bit of coaching, doing a bit of hitting. On court every week with Sasha Satu, not in a coaching capacity, but more of a hitting capacity. And
caught one of her matches yesterday. She looked sort of be pretty talented, 14. She played a 12-year-old yesterday in what was a really good match. And then I think lost a reasonably tight quarter-final match last night.
Yeah. No, she's she's young, plenty of potential, fantastic athlete, and she's got a really, really keen, great coach in Chris Bint, who's working at the Lavie Academy, and I think
he was sitting next to where you were sitting yesterday, calling one of the matches last night. Had a great chat to him. Let's hope he can tell me how he's got to get his visas and things, and obviously to stay in the country.
I think we're all wishing for the best there. But no, she's a good player and yeah, good worker, and yeah, she's got a good support team around her. So it'll be interesting to see how she goes.
Here's Jade Lewis now serving with that break.
Looked to be long, that return. I think Jade actually called it, but umpire said it cleaned the line.
Nadal breaks back. Bet you he goes on to win the match. He lost the first set 6-2, and he's now back to 5-all in the second. That's a loose backhand from Yang, giving Lewis a virtual free point.
I still feel like the tactics to drive that one cross into Lewis's forehand.
One of the criticisms of Jade when she was, sort of coming through the ranks, that sort of her movement was just a little bit suspect. Right, it's an area that she no doubt is working on.
Yeah.
Great depth from Vivian Yang. Match, the battle of the two Sarahs going on the court next door. Sarah Weekly and Sarah Wardenberg. Weekly the second seed. We have the men's semi-finals coming up. On this court next will be Ajit Rai against Anton Shep. We'll have commentary of that one.
Placed in New Zealand, Matt? You're going to be firmly placed here for the rest of the year, you think?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. There's, well, I think well into next year. I can't. The reality is these quarantines will probably be in place until they've got a vaccine that's sort of proven to be working. People are going to be reluctant to travel too much anyway. Yep. And of course, as long as the borders are closed.
Yep. We've got a break point here for Yang.
We have indeed. It's 30-40. 3 points in a row for Vivian Yang. Chance to get back on to serve early in this first set. Jade Lewis hasn't been tested as yet in this tournament. 2 very comprehensive wins. It's long again from Lewis, and that is the break of serve. We are back on serve.
Again, that fast flat ball to the forehand draws the slice. Viv looks really composed out here today. 2 games all.
She had a very easy win to start things off yesterday, Vivian Yang, and then a tough 3-setter, 6-3 in the third. Last night, I think just put her in good stead actually. A good workout like that, yeah. Sometimes you go through it easy and you can be a little bit complacent.
Definitely get the cobwebs off it as well after all this time off. These guys haven't had any matches, and I know what it's like not playing any matches. You feel a bit lost at sea sometimes. So the more time on court, the better, I think.
That's the great thing about these sort of tournaments, isn't it? Just having that tournament play, getting those matches in where they mean something. the forehand just goes long. 2 all, 15 all. Oh, she's missed it down the line. Dominating the rally, unable to finish it off, Vivian Yang. And that little opening for Lewis at 15:30.
She does do a good job of getting one ball back in play, doesn't she? Jade absorbing Yang's power and making her play one extra shot. Third or fourth time we've seen that forehand down the line from Viv.
Yeah, certainly a key shot, isn't it, that forehand?
Absolutely. There you go, Matt. Diego serving for the match again. 6-5 up. Second set. Let's see if he can close it out this time.
He's a player who's often given Nadal a good run in the past.
Yeah.
I saw them play a fourth round match, I think, at the French Open a couple of years ago, and yeah, it was 4 sets, and but it was 4 tough sets.
Right.
Nadal, Nadal in Paris doesn't get tested that much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another error off that forehand, but she's kind of dictating the play, isn't she? In the rallies. Lewis sort of hanging in there more than anything. There's a break point for Lewis, but the aggressor in this match so far has been Vivian Yang.
Absolutely. Lewis seems to be on her heels a bit, but I don't think there would be anything wrong with Viv playing a short ball or a drop shot. Jade's so far behind the baseline, and she's running her from corner to corner, and I think she's moving pretty well. Laterally, it'll be interesting to see it bring her forward. Great serve, it's fantastic. It's one way to save a break point. Well, Diego wasn't good enough for Cameron Norrie in the US Open. That was a great result.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great. It's fantastic.
5 sets?
It was 5 sets. Serve for the match, I think. Schwartzman and
he was up in the 5th set. Yeah. Well, there was another interesting match with 5-3 in the 5th. Zverev against Thiem in that final.
Yeah.
Incredible finish.
Again, great forehand. It's great to see Viv going for her shots here.
Yep, so game point to go up 3-2 for Vivian Yang. Yes, and she's taking it to her more experienced opponent. 3 straight games for the 15-year-old, and Yang leads Lewis 3 games to 2 in the opening set.
Real shift in momentum here. What do you think about the no chairs, Matt?
Yeah, we saw a little bit of improvisation yesterday. 1 or 2 of the players brought their own. One player, I don't think who it was, Sasha brought a little stool in, didn't she?
I heard her mentioning she was going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems a bit silly, to be honest. I'd have chairs there with the players.
Nothing wrong with a bit of a spray bottle and some wipes.
Exactly. First match yesterday, actually, Lewis played against Ella. I'm trying to think of her name. Anyway, the players, they didn't even, when they changed hands, they didn't even break the whole match.
Right.
Match only took about 45 minutes, but they literally just, change of ends, they walked straight around, kept playing. But whereas Sasha's match against Aisha, those two girls, it was like that professional approach. They literally took the 90 seconds, beat every change of ends, and did it as if they were out there on tour. I think it's a good way to be.
Absolutely. Great shot by Viv.
Especially when you're umpiring yourself too, you know, you're literally just kind of replicating.
Yeah. Fantastic start to the game there by Viv again. Super aggressive off the forehand.
Yeah, that's long, and she's just growing in confidence, isn't she? Vivian Yang just really at a spring in her step at the moment.
Absolutely. Last few games she's been playing with much bigger margins. Same power and aggression, but bigger margins, and Jade's struggling with it at the moment.
Whoa.
It's a great weapon, but at the moment, you know, there's a real mix of forehand, some winners, some unforced errors. You know, again, an opportunity for her to maybe bring up 3 break points. Couldn't capitalise on that occasion.
Yeah, and I think that's the next level for Viv as she moves up and progresses through her career. Is just tightening up on a few of those loose areas and key moments.
It was too short from Lewis, and he expertly dealt with that time the off forehand winner to bring up 2 break points.
And just about in there, game, set, match, Diego.
Wow.
Second serve here, break point.
She went for it too, off the clean return of service. Didn't miss by much, but good attitude.
Yeah, I love the intention there by Viv. It's fantastic, and that's sending a message later on to Jade saying, any second serve in the middle of the box, I'm going to crunch it. She might get some double faults down the line, so good play overall, I think.
And there it is, the break of serve, and Vivian Yang, 4 straight games, out to 4 games to 2 now in the opening set, the first of our semi-finals.
Jade really tending to chip and play slice off that forehand more often than not, it seems like. Potentially a little bit of tightness, do you think, Matt? Maybe a bit nervous playing a younger opponent?
Possibly. She's, certainly not hitting through a lot, and in a stark contrast to her last 2 matches where she was obviously very aggressive. She's really been pinned back, and well, maybe the right idea. Lewis was well behind the baseline, but poor execution on that occasion, and now Yang in a bit of trouble on serve at love 30.
Shows she's thinking and aware about it, and aware of Lewis's court position, which was great to see. Like you said, just lacked a bit of execution. That looked like one of my drop shots, to be honest.
So 3 breakback points.
I think that was a let there.
Oh, they're playing let with the ball coming up across the court.
Still love 30.
Okay. Now it's love 40. A little bit over eager there. Went for the off forehand kill, but couldn't execute. So breakback points for Jade Lewis. Oh, she breaks to love, does Lewis. Really mix and match in that rally. Those sliced forehands. Puts it away.
Interesting change up from Viv there. I thought she was, the last few games, doing really well, playing pretty flat and through the court, staying on top of the baseline. All of a sudden she decided to play some high balls in there and sort of play more Jade style of game, which I thought was interesting, but nonetheless back on serve.
So you're going to be playing Carabao yourself this summer?
Oh, I'm listed in a team. I'm listed down for next gen, but we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see how the body holds up, mate.
Definitely, definitely. We'll start. Well, I'm doing a little bit of hitting at the moment with Isaac, but nothing.
Yeah.
You know, getting up from the.
How do you think he's going to go in his semi against Alex Clancharo today?
I think it'll be a good match. He beat him at the Premier League, and
yeah.
You know, Alex has obviously always been sort of traditionally older and better than Isaac, but you know he's improving pretty quickly. And
how old is he now?
He's 19.
19.
Yeah.
So Jade Lewis serving at 3-4, back on serve, 15.
Playing on lets, are they? Oh, that's like a let, though. Like that, off the serve.
I think it's the first time I've seen that in this tournament.
Maybe I'm seeing things.
Is that the ITF rule?
Yeah, the ITF. Yeah.
So that's what they're using. They're playing with those rules now.
Maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just wide. Lewis is going to dispute that, but it was wide, so it's 15-30.
So what about the classic, Matt? Is the classic, is that?
Yeah, big lot of talk around when it's going to be, if it's going to be, and what format it will take. Certainly there was talk about a classic of sorts, perhaps not affiliated to the ATP WTA Tours in December,
right,
as a lead-in for some leading players to come out here ahead of the Australian Open. But I think the move to the Auckland level 3 lockdown, effectively scuppered that process. So I'm pretty sure they've given up now on a December tournament. It won't be in the usual time slot first 2 weeks of January. That's mainly, I think, because of it's just too hard with Australian Open to start after that in quarantine and getting into Australia and things like that. So the talk that I'm hearing is that it could well be after the Australian Open.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. But a lot's going to be determined around bubbles and what sort of what are the quarantine requirements, whether they can do like the Wallabies and do 3 days in isolation and then move into a bubble where they can train and play, because and of course exemptions for over so many different nationalities, it's pretty tough. I mean, I don't envy Carl Budge in this environment. It's 40-30 here. Lewis a chance to hold serve. Let's get back on level terms.
We see Viv miss the drop shot in the last game, and I felt like she was just too far behind the baseline, but I felt like that shot there was a perfect one to bring Jade forward. She's a couple of metres inside the court. There's not a lot of pace on the ball. Jade's 1.5 metres behind the baseline, sort of picking to run the other way. She moves quite well into the open court, I feel like. I'd love to just see Viv take a bit of pace off the ball and just play it short. 4-all here. Again, a tough hold for Jade. Viv's really in this match.
It's a real up and down match, isn't it? Lewis out to 2-love early on, then 4 straight games from Yang, and now Lewis fighting back to level it up. Double fault to start. You'll be looking for that main draw wild card again, Finn. You've enjoyed your opportunities over the years, mate.
Yeah, got one wild card, I think.
Into main draw, and you had some qualies, played at qualies a few times too.
Yeah, no, it was a great experience. I remember my first wild card I was so nervous I couldn't eat breakfast. Great play by Jade there, exposing Yang out to a forehand side. Sort of getting it just beyond in range, so she can't play that aggressive winner down the line she has 3 or 4 times in the set already. Yeah, my second one was a bit better because I somehow managed to qualify, so I felt like I deserved to be there a little bit. Extremely off day there, Matt.
That's right. Was that your best win over Cam, or did you have who was the best player you beat?
Yeah, probably Cam. Considering the circumstances there, but probably got a bit lucky. But
he was always nervous coming back to Auckland, except for the year he made the final, of course.
Yeah.
So it is Vivian Yang at love 40. A real change in momentum in this match. This time it's long.
She's up in the baseline, she's stepping and playing through the court. She can be lethal, Viv. She's a great ball striker, a really strong girl, especially for her age. She's just got to find more opportunities to step and play inside the baseline. Great serve. Fantastic. Second ace of the set. Second ace on break point.
So another break point to try and save. 30-40. Hall players, Sarah Weekly, Sarah Wardenberg underway in the second semi-final, court number 2. That was long from Lewis. So 3 break points saved. Tremendous off forehand from the 15-year-old, yes, just 15 years of age, Vivian Yang. These two, their path to the semi-finals. Lewis beat Ella O'Malley, Love and Love, and then Elise C, 6-4, 6-Love. Vivian, Love and Love over Emma Anderson. Well, she's played that superbly. To come from love 40 to hold, that is a huge hold in the context of this first set. And Yang stops the run of games against her and goes to the changeover at 5-4.
See how important the first ball after service. Yang doing a great job of it in that game.
Yes, I always remember a great tennis analyst telling me in the US that what makes Nadal so good is that first ball after the serve, that set-up shot, that second shot, and he wins a majority of his points in the first 3 to 5 shots, and he sets up. Sometimes it's overlooked because we think of the great rallies that players, but the majority of his points are won in very short, quick.
Definitely. The highest percentage of points are under 3 shots, and I think all the highlights we see on TV are about 35 shots, and that's what we think tennis is. But I don't know the percentage, but it would be a very high percentage where Rafa finds his forehand after his serve, and he's looking to dictate straight away.
So Lewis now serving to stay in the opening set at 4-5. The aggression's really returned to Vivian Yang's game, looking to really step it up here and attack, put Lewis under pressure. It's a good start for the youngster.
That was smart both of there. High ball out of the corner, a good defence, then she got that one to rip, cracked it into the Lewis forehand.
5-7, 6-4, 6-3 was that win over Shona Nakin, the 6th seed. Tight, lengthy battle yesterday.
Shona's a tough opponent as well, Matt. I think she was the 18s national champion, I think. Serve, first ball by Lewis there, 30-15. Huge backswing. I thought she could have just placed it, but certainly made sure of it. Higher risk on that second volley. The first one just took the line, but she smashed it away. She doesn't hold back, does she? That's great aggressive play. She deep in the set.
And it's 30 all, so swing point here, 4-5. Huge point. Be the most important point in a game. You're set point.
Fantastic.
Yeah, terrific aggression again from Yang and composure at the net to bring up that set point.
Great soft hands there. It's not all power. It's not all power.
Some of the great women's players are obviously more about finesse than power.
Absolutely.
Martina Hingis, any day. Simona Halep, latterly. Got to make it, and she does. And is there an upset on the cards here? The first set goes the way of the youngster, the 15-year-old Vivian Yang takes the first set over the top seed Jade Lewis, 6 games to 4.
It's a fantastic set point. What do you think about Kim Clijsters? She's back.
Yeah, it's great to see, isn't it? I mean, she was one of my favourite players in the peak of her career. Just, I think, you know, when they're a great player, but also that incredible person off the court as well. You know, just you're just a wonderful, wonderful ambassador for the sport. I think. Yeah, great to see her come back. You know, 36. I mean, if she gets into shape, and I don't know reason to think she won't. She will be, you know, a dangerous, dangerous player. I mean, I think of look at Victoria Azarenka, all the trials that she's gone through over the last few years. You know, the custody battle, and you know, off the tour for so long. I mean, she hadn't won a match in 12 months prior to getting to Cincinnati. Well, to New York for the Cincinnati tournament, she won. So, so she had a lot of first-round losses. You know, and had really struggled. Had bad draws, being unseeded. You know, sometimes lost a lot of close matches, but she got it together big time, didn't she? And you know, came so close in the US Open.
Yeah, I mean, Clijsters is one of the best ball strikers I've ever seen, and yeah, Azarenka, it's great to see her back playing well. I think her and Serena will, I think, continue, and Kim Clijsters, if she once she gets back into full playing condition, I think they'll still continue to dominate the game for a couple of years. That's my pick.
Yeah, well, it's interesting about Serena, you know, how, because you've got so many good young players who on their day can match Serena, and, you know, so if Serena's not in great shape or hasn't had the best preparation, I mean, she's all targeting just the Grand Slams now, isn't she? 24, she wants to get to that Margaret Court record, and, you know, since that 2017 Australian Open, she's been in what, 3 Grand Slam, 4 finals, you know, semi-final there in New York, just not quite getting the job done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Paris is probably, she's least likely, even though she's won the French a couple of times, she's least likely to achieve it there.
Serena?
Yeah. So now she's really looking probably next year's Australian Open at the earliest. And then she'll be another year older.
So what's the talk on that, Matt? That they're going to sort of quarantine people over there? Because obviously Victoria right now is in a...
Yeah, look, I mean, everything's a moving feast. I mean, I do think with Australia now, I mean, they seem to be again on top of this latest outbreak. They're down to, I think, 20 or 30 cases a day now, so close to 100. So we're not even in October, right? So
still
I suspect it'll be played without crowds or very small crowds. You know, come in the middle of January, and there'll be no foreigners coming in terms of spectators like they usually, you know, the Swedes used to turn up in their droves and whatnot. It'll be very restricted, and it'll be bubble like. But you know, if the French Open can go ahead without any issues, I mean, the US Open was nearly flawless, not quite, but nearly. And given what had happened in New York back in March, April, who would have thought they would have had a US Open? So it is possible to stage these tournaments under strict, you know, biosecurity. And so here's Vivian Yang then serving at the start of the second set, having taken the first set over the top seed Jade Lewis, 6 games to 4. Well, terrific defence from Lewis, and then she makes a complete hash of it. Short ball, can't put it away.
Will be interesting to see if Viv keeps up her intentions here. I think there's no doubt saying that she won the majority of success she had in the first set was playing close to the baseline with big margins, trying to rush Jade and get that short ball. And as the match wears on, she gets closer to potentially winning. Will be interesting to see if she stays with that. Great shot by Lewis.
Probably the best forehand so far from Jade Lewis.
Bit of frustration in that forehand, potentially. That was a great shot. Viv is playing a lot of points with both her feet inside the baseline, really looking to dominate and be assertive here. Good lefty slider.
So she moves to 40-15. Chance to start well here in the second set. She dropped her opening service game of the match, was quickly behind 2-love in the first set, if you have just joined us. And Lewis. Not enough on that forehand from Yang, and it is 40-30 now. Yes, went on a run of 4 straight games from 2-love down, got to 4-2, was fought back for 4-all, and then a crucial hold for 5-4 from Love 40 down for Yang, and was able to break and take that first set. Another ace, slider, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, slider to hold serve, and she, Lewis is
third in the match
disputed,
there.
is she? No, she's accepted it. So the first game of the second set goes the way of Yang, and the youngster looking pretty good out here.
See, after Jade's serve, she skips across to over to a forehand side to take the backhand, definitely from the middle, but even towards on the forehand side of the court, leaving quite a large gap down the line for Viv to rip her backhand down the line.
Couple of free points to start this service game for Lewis, who had been playing college tennis. She went back to college tennis, I think, didn't she, for a period after turning pro and then sort of giving up on the pro circuit. I'm not sure how that worked. Did she get a dispensation? Because once you've gone pro, you can't go back, but she was playing.
Well, she's still playing on the team. I don't think she was. I think she might have just been finishing. I mean, I could be wrong. I think she was just finishing the school.
Right. Oh, she made it. It was a miss it. Yang puts it away, Vivian Yang.
Great ball striking nonetheless from Viv.
I've seen a player play so many slice forehands that Jade Lewis has played today.
Yeah, mind you, I'm looking on the next court and
Sarah Wardenberg.
Yeah, she's playing slice off both sides. I don't think I've seen her to it's quite amazing.
Yeah, Again, the approach probably that, I mean, the aggression is good, isn't it? She's showing some positivity,
Absolutely.
but maybe picking the wrong shot there to come in on, certainly not doing enough on that approach, and that was really easy pickings for Lewis to move to 40-15.
Yep. I do think Jade likes a target, so maybe she needs to just hold off one more and then approach on
Well done from Lewis. Yeah, she holds, levels it up at 1 game all.
Fantastic point set up by Great down the tee serve there. 1-1.
Yes, a fair bit of tennis to come on the local scene over the next few months with the, there are 6 money tournaments in total, also ITF tournaments coming up, and then of course the weekend Carabao action, which I think most of our top players who are here are involved in this year, so that'll be a good standard, good chance for competitive matches. Ruben Statham's going to be playing.
Yeah, who's he playing for?
Royal
Oak,
sure.
is it?
Probably Royal Oak.
Yeah.
Where his coach, Gary Swinkle's coach is at.
Yep. It'll be good to have Ruben in the...
Ruben and Oliver together, they'll be pretty strong.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Karaka sounds like they've got a bit of a stacked team.
Do they? Well, they can't bring in...
Sebastian Levy's in there, he's playing again, and I think they've got Ajit Rai playing for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can't bring in their usual overseas.
Overseas, yeah, the Irishmen and the...
the Aussies.
Yep. So it's Vivian Yang serving. Drifted long from Lewis. I just wonder, is it just a deliberate tactic from Lewis, do you think, just to take the pace of it, because clearly Yang loves the ball coming through quick. She likes to play.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of two things. I think that's part of it, but I also feel like Jade's grip's quite far around, and when the ball's played really fast in there, she tends to get it late. So I feel like the easier option is just for her to slice it, probably more comfortable. Where her backhand's a bit more traditional, technically a bit more traditional, and she can handle and absorb Viv's pace off the backhand side and play it flatter back, or more of a topspin shot.
Some really good serving in this game from
40-15.
Vivian Yang.
2 game points here, I think.
Here's the serve. Just long again from Lewis. So the hold for Vivian Yang, and she is looking strong here, having taken the first set 6-4, leading 2 games to 1 in the second. First semi-final in our Kiwi Money tournament today. Next other semi-final is on the adjacent court. We don't have a score update, but Sarah Weekly, the second seed, is taking on Sarah Wardenberg. And the winner will play winner of this match in the final this afternoon, after the men's semi-final, which we'll have between Ajit Rai and Anton Shep. The other semi-final, Isaac Beecroft and Alex Klincharov. Matt Brown alongside Finn Tierney in the commentary position for this match. Finn, of course, former New Zealand #1, Davis Cup player, and now more coach and a little bit of dabbling in tennis as well. A good match for next gen, I'm sure, during Carabao this year.
Great shot by.
Well, the inside in forehand.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of spin on it, accuracy, control, and Lewis at love 15.
Yeah, maybe the odd doubles, Matt. I'm not too sure about the singles. Let the younger guys do that these days. Oh,
Well, clean return of service winner and stepping up big time. Full of confidence. Vivian Yang. Up 30, Lewis under pressure now. Oh, she's made it. She's just flicked the switch in this game as Vivian Yang. 3 terrific winners to bring up triple break point.
really shows Viv's potential. She's such a good ball striker, and she can hit winners from so many different places on the court. She can just harness that and reduce that, some of the loose areas slightly. She's going to be a great career in front of her. Great shot by Jade there, being the aggressor. Second serve. Let's see if Viv's going to step into this and show her intentions.
Oh, she's made it again. It's skidded off the line, and I think as Lewis called that, it's called wide. Gee, from our position, let's see the replay here. Yeah, to me that looks like it was off the line, so
not sure
lucky.
Not sure about that one, Matt.
Yeah, lucky break for Jade Lewis. Oh, terrific defence from Lewis. 3 break points saved.
A bit more aggressive from Lewis in this game. Looking to take it to Viv. Yeah, steal a bit of time.
So deuce, 1-2. Second set. This time I think it's found the line. And Lewis again thinks it was wide. It's a break point. So 4th chance to break in this game for Vivian Yang.
It's a fantastic forehand. I thought again, right off the line there. Oh.
Went for it, rather low percentage shot from that angle, but couldn't quite execute. Back at deuce.
Mind you, she's made a few of them today, hasn't she? Screams down the line. It's long. It's a 4th break point coming up here. Or was it 5th in this game?
Yeah, 5th, but she was love 40, Lewis,
yeah.
so this is a 5th break point. It's wide, so the break of serve goes the way of Vivian Yang on her 5th break point, and a set, and now 3-1.
It was a huge game coming up here for Viv. I remember at 4-2 in the first set. She was obviously up a break, and she gave away a few cheapies that she probably wish she didn't. So interesting to see how she responds here. Oh, fantastic way to move up to that ball.
short, very short return. She stepped in.
It's been a great performance by Viv so far. I'm sure her coach, Matt Alexander, is happy with what he's seeing so far. He's got some good improvements since the last time I saw her play. It's always good to see. Making use of the quarantine break.
Oh, terrific rally and a wonderful finish. The touch at the net from Lewis.
Great hands. I'd like to see Jade do a bit more of that, Matt. Sort of take it to Viv and try to be the aggressor here. I just don't think, you know, Viv's handling what Jade's throwing at her, and I'd love to see her change it up and take a bit of time away and maybe move forward and attempt to put Viv on the back foot for the remainder of this match. Because I feel like it's firmly in Viv's hands here.
It's a wonderful forehand pass from Lewis. It's now 15-30.
So you think the Davis Cup's still going to go ahead, Matt?
Next year?
Next year?
Yeah, quite possibly. I wouldn't want to predict too much, to be honest. You just don't know, but you know, they'll be tennis will be desperate to get something going, for sure. You know, it's that first round tie, which is the hard bit, isn't it? Because it's all in individual countries. If it was all in one venue, you'd say yes. But if they're going to be playing all around the world, I mean, maybe they'll have to say, right, everyone straight off the Australian Open stays in Melbourne, or you know, or something like that, and all the teams literally come together in one place and play.
That's a good idea. So New Zealand playing Korea, it's a big tie.
Yeah. That was the wrong option, that first ball, and it's just a couple of loose points now. And now Lewis with a chance to get back on serve.
30-40 here. There's a huge point at 30 all. She just took the gas off that forehand. She just drilled that one cross court. Oh, that's great ball striking. She's playing these she's been break point down. She's played so aggressively and executed for the majority. It's fantastic to see her intentions in tough times in the game. Game point with here.
Yes, a chance to really consolidate that break of serve and edge ever closer to a place in the final. Wonderful, the inside-in forehand winner from Vivian Yang. And the 15-year-old Kiwi goes out to 4-1 in the second set, having taken the first set over the top seed Jade Lewis, 6-4. It's just so important for these players, isn't it, to, you know, you can't travel internationally for ITF junior tournaments. It's just so important to have competitive matches. We saw with the men having the New Zealand Tennis Premier League, you know, what that did for the guys. I think it was a terrific initiative from Tennis New Zealand, also from Seb Levy to get that up and running. And of course, there wasn't one for the women this year, but who knows next year. It's the sort of thing that would be extremely beneficial for our young players.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think obviously all these guys are, with no tournaments on, train, you might get a bit sick of it, and obviously play tennis to play matches and compete, and that was came at a great time, I think, and I think it's so important for these guys to have structure in their training with long extended periods time off, and not doing the right thing, but also not getting burnt out when you're just training. But again, look, Tennis New Zealand have put on some of these tournaments. They've come at a fantastic time. There's a 3 or 4 in a row, something like that, Matt, and then obviously, like you were saying, Carabol starting.
It's a strong belief of Christophe Lambert, the high performance manager of Tennis New Zealand, to really create competition. And no doubt,
it's vital. And you see, I wouldn't want to know the numbers about when, you know, some of the Kiwi kids when turn 16, 17, 18, how many matches behind they are than some of the kids in the US or even Australia.
And particularly Europe too, I think, now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Too.
These guys are playing tournaments every weekend almost. And over here, some of the kids that I used to work with would go, it was just hardly any events on. You go almost a whole entire school term, and then you'd have some tournaments in the school holidays, and it's just not enough. So I think it's a great initiative from Christophe. And
of course, a lot of the young Kiwi guys in particular will be heading back, if they haven't already headed back, to colleges in the US, looking to start maybe the next semester in the early.
That's a fantastic return.
3 break points, and this really would, wow, get almost as close as a match point as you can get to 5-1 if she could convert one of these opportunities. It is Vivian Yang on the cusp of a terrific win for her over the vastly more experienced Jade Lewis. Love 40. And she breaks to love, and now Vivian Yang will serve for the match and a place in the final.
Didn't feel that long ago, Matt. Jade was up 2-love in the first set. It's been a huge swing. That's great aggressive play. Serving first ball again from Viv.
Well, the confidence is there now. She's just going to go for it, isn't she? And really be aggressive. And she's just playing freely.
Absolutely.
With that aggression, there will be mistakes.
Yeah. Again, it's great to see she's going for it, though, serving for the match, you know. Countless times I've been in this situation, you tighten up and get broken straight away. Guess it still gives me nightmares today, but it's good to see Viv going for it.
Just hurried on to Lewis. She was slow getting the racket back, and it's now 30-15. A couple of points away from a terrific win for Vivian Yang. There was a match at the US Open where there was a 6. Was it someone was up 6-love, 5-love and lost?
Yeah, there was. I do seem to remember that. I remember I played a tournament in the UK, and it was a mixed event. One of the girls was 6-love, 5-love, 40-love up.
Yeah.
Came back. ITF wrote an oath on it.
So 30 all, swing point.
Great serve, taking Jade off the court, going back in behind her. I really feel like Jade moves better to the open court, and Viv's done a great job today of, especially after the first ball off the serve, just being super aggressive.
Well, it's a match point after about an hour and 20 minutes. First match point for Vivian Yang.
Great return.
That's the way to save a match point. The serve sort of sat up for her in the pocket really, and she drove that return down the line. Get back to deuce. Now a break-back point for Lewis.
Have you heard any news, Matt, about is Tennis New Zealand still looking to host pro events? Is that it's probably all still again a bit up in the air, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's the issue. I mean, we
Fantastic
had,
serve there.
of course, to save that break point back to deuce. The Tiano events was pretty successful from what I understood last summer. It was a great opportunity for players to play at home, and of course the Hamilton women's event as well.
Yep.
Just after the Fed Cup, which New Zealand hosted.
Yep. New Zealand won, right? Maybe.
One of the shots of the match, that backhand driven down the line to bring up a second match point for Vivian Yang.
Yeah.
Yes, wide from Jade Lewis, and Vivian Yang causes a big upset in the semi-finals. Straight sets and comfortable in the end. 6-4, 6-1 over the top seed Jade Lewis, and it's Yang who is through to the final here at the Kiwi Money Tournament at Scarbro.
From the schoolyard to the stadium, Aon has been helping Kiwis strive for sporting success on a local, regional and national level for over 20 years. We're proud to support New Zealand's sporting organisations and communities up and down the country. As New Zealand's leading insurance broker, we can also support you when it comes to your insurance. With expert advice and local service. From quote to claim management, we're with you every step of the way. Talk to your local Aon insurance broker today.